defend the world from the return of the Shadowkings, just as the brave Pharaoh did 5,000 years ago.
YouTube, Vintage Yu-Gi-Oh here today, and we have a Beckett return, and this has been a super long time coming for these cards. So, these cards have all been graded before, and none of these cards are mine, but the guy that sent them in, we thought it was, all these were vastly undergraded. We sent a 20-page PDF of proving like centering grades were off based on measurements I'd done and things like that. And they're like, you know, we don't care about any of that. You pretty much your proof does nothing for us. So I cracked all of these cards and we have resubmitted them and got these grades back. So we're gonna compare. I'm gonna take snippets of the old original video versus this one. I still have some of the original BGS labels that we're going to compare, and it's just going to be hopefully a fun video comparing old grades to new grades. So today, and this is going to be a kind of a piece together video covering the journey of these BGS cards. So I sent in 2 subs, 54 cards, and not one subgrade on all 54 cards got a 10. So, I mean, the probability of 216 subgrades not getting a 10 is just pretty astronomical in my opinion. You're not gonna see another faded, like I don't have a second Time Wizard or a second faded B-Skull that I'm grading. Like the cards that I'm cracking are the cards that I'm sending. And this is gonna be a good comparison video showing old grades versus new grades. So hopefully we'll either have consistency and show, hey, BGS can be consistent, these are actually the grades, or they're all over the place to say, hey, we kind of already probably knew this, but this really confirms that. Once again, buy the card, not the grades, because every time you send the card, the grades are going to change. So this is kind of like a here's my theory and let's test it. So without further ado, we're gonna go through all the cards first and then I'm gonna crack this Time Wizard. Pretty flawless. I'm not sure if I'm cracking this one yet. So disclaimer, these cards were not mine. They were sent in by me, but they are sent in for a friend. So he's told me, hey, I give you permission to crack all these cards. We're gonna send them in. So I'm not sure if he wanted this one cracked since it got a 9.5, but I do think it deserves a better grade than a 9.5, but we're going to put that one off to the side for now. We got a right leg of the Forbidden One Wavy ×2. We have a left leg. I think he said not to include this one, or one of them, but it looked good too, so I'm gonna crack it as well. Right arm, or maybe I did leave it out, I left one line up, and Exodia Glossy, and this thing had really good centering. We got Thousand Dragon, 2 Flame Swordsmans that just kind of got undergraded in his opinion, so we're going to crack those. A Summon Skull. If you're really curious, you'll be able to look at this Solemn Judgment, look at the centering, look at the coloring, and compare it to this. I mean, no strings are being pulled here, so it's going to be complete transparency on, you know, are these subgrades, are they somewhat consistent? Are they not consistent? Are they consistent in one subgrade? Like, are they, you know, on edges? Are they going to be, you know, have the same subgrade 90% of the time, or are they going to be all over the place too? So it's just going to be a real interesting experiment, in my opinion. And last but not least, Mirror Force 9. I measured this card, if you guys saw in the video I sent BGS, perfect centering. Perfect centering on the front, and then on the back, it only has to be 60-40 based on their requirements. I did compared everything to their requirements. Perfect 50-50 centering left to right and front to back. So without further ado, we are going to crack this Time Wizard. So I'm gonna have to cut this out of this plastic container and then put it into a top loader. All right, so we've got them all cracked here. So just gonna have the label here with each card, and we're gonna go through them one last time. There we have the BGS cards here, and we're going to compare the, like I said, we're going to compare old grades to new grades. I don't have all the labels, but I will show at least all of the old labels from the original video and compare it to this new video. So it might take a little bit of time here. I am missing some of the labels, like I said. So I'll try to get, I know the grades already, so I'm trying to get sorted here on what's what. Let's see. So we're gonna have a little counter on how many subgrades are different. I think there are 14 cards, so there should be 56 subgrades. So here we have item one, number 1, 1000 Dragon. It came back a BGS 9. And I have the old label here, and I'll also take a snippet of the original video. It is unchanged, but out of the 3 subgrades, or out of the 4 subgrades, the 3 have changed. Centering has changed, edges have changed, and surface has changed. So we're at 3 out of 4 changed subgrades. So, but a lot of these, I guess we'll keep the old label with it. A lot of these changed many different ways. So let's see here. Here we go. Here's another one that I have a label for. Really iconic card here, really beautiful. We have a Time Wizard, and it's a faded variety, which is shown here on the original label, printing error. And out of the 4 subgrades, let's see, 2 changed. Corners, magically, by me cracking it and resubmitting it, corners went from a 9 to a 10, and surface somehow improved a half a point overnight also. So just 2 new subgrades, and completely changes the overall price and, thought about this card. It was a basic 9 before, and now it's, a pretty strong 9.5. So just wild, really. And I hope BGS sees it, and I hope they can at least say, hey, we were wrong, but I know they won't, because they've not worked with me. PSA has at least worked with me on a couple different things. They did a buyback thing where they paid me off for a card that was misgraded. They've given me vouchers before and things like that. So PSA is at least willing to work with me a little bit, it seems like. So next up we have, I think I have this one, yes. So we have a Summon Skull, and it was originally a 9, and now it is a 9.5. So let's see, out of the 4 subgrades, 3 have changed, or all 4 changed. All 4 changed magically. This card just, it morphed into something new. Centering improved, edges improved, surface decrease. I must have scratched it getting it out of the case or something. That's a joke, by the way. And corners improved to a perfect 10. So all 4 subgrades changed here. So we're batting well over 500 on different subgrades, and that just kind of, I beat it into the ground, but subgrades quit buying the grade, buy the card. There are perfectly fine 9s out there, perfectly fine 8.5s out there, perfectly fine even 8s, PSA 7s, PSA 6s. Buy the card that you can afford and quit paying for that elusive 10. And I mean, I have 10s in every card that we're going to show. I have a 10 in, and so like I should be the last person to mention this, but it's the truth. So up next, you guys are going to see another, pretty good trend here. Overall, the sub, we did really well. We have a Mirror Force 9.5, beautiful card. And the old label, we had a solid 9. So once again, magically centering and edges improved by me resubmitting. And the corners, they magically are perfect now. And in my opinion, I measured this card. Centering is, I just took a high quality scan and I measured the pixel distance from edge to magenta color, and it was exactly 50-50 in all up, down, left, right, and somehow this still only got a 9.5 on centering. They refused to give 10 centering for some reason, but a beautiful card, and rightfully got the 9.5 it should have before. So we'll move this one away. We are hitting some bad light there. So let's see, what else do I have up? We'll just go through a couple of these. There was multiple sent in, so I'll have to really look at the video and make sure I'm comparing the same card to the same card. So this is a right arm. It got a 9, and I do have a right arm. So let's see how this compares to last time. This one was actually pretty close. If this is the correct label, like I said, I will ensure that we are comparing the exact same cards, because there was like duplicate left legs, for example. But if there's only one right arm, then this one matches. But centering and surface remain the same, and corners and edges both got bumped by 0.5. So just once again, over half of the subgrades have changed. So just kind of a joke, really, that 50% of all of these subgrades are changing. So let's see, we have a left leg here. Got a beautiful 9.5, really solid wavy left leg. So this is a big hitter here. And let's see, right leg, left leg. I can't imagine, let's see if I have another right leg or left leg here. It could be the same. 2 right legs. Yep, this is the same label then. Wow. Look at this come up. We went from a 9 to a 9.5. Magically, once again, centering and edges have both improved just by, transit and mail. Surface, you never know what you're going to get on a wavy surface. And then corners, magically, I took the file out and sharpened the corners here to get to some new corners on this bad boy, and we got it up to a 10. So overall, we improved by 2.5 points between the 4 subgrades, and went from a pretty weak 9 to once again a really strong 9.5. So just pretty mind-blowing there. And I'm sorry if you are not used to me being super sarcastic on the channel, but this video is just, pretty dumb in my opinion to even have to do. All right, we're gonna enjoy this one here too. I had not compared the old ones to new. I knew that obviously none of these were 9.5s before, and I knew they got 9.5s now. So I knew there was gonna be a pretty good difference, but just looking at this for the first time is pretty comical. So we have I know this label is correct because we actually have, we have two variations here. We have a normal, and then we have a printing error. So this is the printing error one that I have the label for. And we, once again, magically increased on centering and edges by 0.5 point. Corners went up by 0.5 point, and surface went up by 0.5 point. So once again, we increased 0.5 point on every subgrade. Like, how can you be off 0.5 subgrade every time? I mean, it's just mind-boggling. So I'm gonna have to go back through the video and have the little counter going for how many out of 56 subgrades right now. So we've done, you know, 7 cards so far, so 28 subgrades. I would guess at least 14 to 18 subgrades are different out of the 28, which is just stupid. All right, so we have 2 right legs. So I do have both of the labels for these. So I'm not sure which is which here, but actually it doesn't matter because both right legs got quad 9s, if I can get it there on camera. Quad 9 there and a quad 9 there. So both of those got the same previous subgrades. Let's look at this one. Oh, we now have a beautiful wavy 9.5, and 3 of those 9s magically once again got bumped up to 9.5s, and corners remain the same on this one. So we'll just stick that one with that one. And then on the other quad 9, it remained a 9 overall, but all 4 subgrades are now magically not 9s. 9.5, 9.5, 10 on corners. Really glad I could get the, get the laser out and round those corners off to get that to a 10, and an 8.5 on surface. So just, really just mind-blowing stuff here, people. So I do have, let's see, I have 2 labels left. Oh, there was only 1 Flame Swordsman. So this Flame Swordsman must match to this label. So we have a wavy, beautiful wavy Flame Swordsman, really solid. I would probably actually agree with the centering on here with a 9, and I can't talk too much to the other 3 grades with it being in the case, but when we tried to send them information, we didn't argue corners or surface or edges. That's hard to see in cases, but you can 100% tell what centering should be graded. Not only visually, but you can, like I said, I took a high quality picture and I physically measured the black border distance on the left, right, up and top, or up and bottom, and compared them as ratios, and they fell within the BGS 10 and 9.5 range. But on this Flame Swordsman, we got a 9.5, and what's ironic is previously we had a 9.5 on centering, 9 on edges, 9 on surface, and 8.5 on corners. So once again, on this card, no similarities. All 4 subgrades have changed. So I'm kind of beating the dead horse at this point, but just completely crazy that a company like this, that their selling point is these subgrades. People are like, oh, I like seeing the subgrades. It paints a picture. Paint a picture with this. How did corners magically go up a whole point? How did edges go up magically a whole point? It is what it is, but it's not right, pretty much. All right, so we have, let's see. Oh no, there was 2 Flame Swordsmans. So let's see if I will correct it if I was wrong, but let's see. Even if this was their label, 2 subgrades did change if this was the same label to this same card. So centering, I'll say it is. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Centering 9.5, surface 9. Corners still went up a whole point, and edges still went up a whole point. So we're still way off there. All right, and then we have a beautiful Solemn Judgment here that I already flashed on there briefly earlier. I don't have a label, but I'll pop it up there on what the old label was. It was graded a 9, so something's changed, but I'm not entirely sure what. And then we have, I'm pretty sure we did crack this one. That was a 9.5 because my buddy thought it was really, really clean, and we thought we could potentially get a 10. We got 3 9.5s and a 10. So super, super clean card. They gave it, pretty close to what it deserves, but still, probably could be, you send this in again, it's not going to get the same 4 subgrades is the point. And then last but not least, this was probably the most consistent graded out of the bunch, it looks like. We have an Exodian that remains a 9, but this centering, I mean, they must be really counting off on the back, but the back, to my opinion, I think it has to be like 70-30, which 70-30, if you actually measure a ratio of 70-30, it is night and day. It's just a tiny, tiny sliver. So the centering on the front is absolutely perfect, but it got a 9. So comparing to the old one, it got a 9 centering. Edges got worse, corners got better, and surface remained the same, but the total summation of the 4 subgrades remained the same. So this one, probably out of all the 14 cards, was the most consistent. But, well, yeah, like I said, I'll have a counter of how many subgrades changed, and I'll make sure that the right labels are with the right cards. And out of 56, I'm going to guess probably like 35 to 40 maybe even have changed. So I don't want to take away from a really good, you know, return like this. You know, out of 14 cards, we got, I think, 10 really solid 9.5s and 4 9s that I don't know if there was maybe one 8.5 subgrade. Yeah, on the Thousand Dragon maybe. But other than that, you know, really solid grade, really solid cards. This should have been the grades the first time around. I mean, we wasted probably 500. I think it was 500 and no, it was $372, I think. But anyway, you know, hundreds of dollars, and you know, that's a lot of money to a lot of people, and just completely unnecessary. And I'm gonna send this video directly to the contact I have at Beckett, and I might wait until I get a couple more of their submissions back. But really, you know, if they want to be that petty and take out, you know, be malicious on cards that I have there, that just even more proves that that's a company I do not want to do business with. And I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but if they did do that, then that would just 100% put the nail in the coffin for me to never touch their business again. I would like to think with this kind of proof that they'd be like, yeah, you were right. It was too harshly graded. We were too busy. We rushed things, blah, blah, blah. We'll give you, even if they just give me credit, you know. But I would not be asking, I don't think I'd be out of line to ask for a full refund on this previous submission with all 14 cards getting, you know, at least 2 out of 4 different subgrades. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Really ran it a long time on this video, but I wanted it to be thorough and wanted to show, you know, the changes between these cards and how vast they are from card to card. And this really tried to drive the nail in the coffin and drive it home that buy the card, look at the card, and you know, if you see flaws that you don't like, don't buy the card just because it has a high grade. And if you don't see any flaws, you know, ask the seller why they think it got the grade it got. And if they don't really have a great explanation, it's probably misgraded, or and you might get a good deal on it. So that's gonna do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this 14 card LOB MRD Ultra return video. I'm not sure what he's doing with the cards, if he's selling them or whatever. So I don't ask if it's for sale. I'll post it, or he'll post it on his Instagram, and I'll put his Instagram up there if he wants me to. So I don't think he has any problem with it, but I'm not gonna say who this is yet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Comment with what your favorite card out of the return was, and just really your overall thoughts on Beckett and these subgrades. I really want to get, you know, some good conversation on your thoughts of, because I don't think I've not seen anything, at least Yu-Gi-Oh wise, with, you know, this is a pretty good sample size, 14 cards, comparing previously graded cards with the same company. You know, I've seen crossover, you know, Beckett to PSA and see how well they cross and things like that, but I've never seen people, you know, crack PSA cards and send them to PSA and really prove how the grades change. And the same with Beckett here. I've never really seen
people crack cards and compare subgrades from submission to submission. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that, and hopefully you guys have a good day. And as always, thanks for watching.